Now entering Nerdist.com.
Tonight, my guest is a scientifically engineered superhuman on the ABC Family series, Kyle XY. She's also a bona fide denizen of Asgard in the Marvel Studios blockbuster Thor and Thor, The Dark World. Now she is the star of a hit NBC action drama series called Blindspot, where she plays a woman who woke up in a bag in the middle of Times Square, all naked and stuff with no memories and covered in all these tats. I mean, who has not been there? Anyway, the tattoos are a complicated puzzle. They lead her and the FBI into dangerous situations and dark revelations, and we are certainly along for the ride. And tonight, you are on the ride with Jaimie Alexander, who will be talking with Chris Hardwick. Hello. All right, we have listened to you. We've heard you on the Twitters and the Instagrams and the Facebooks using @talking. I'm going to read questions, comments. We're going to get messages from the video monitor here. We're going to get questions from the audience. You guys can think about what you're going to ask. I have a lot of stuff to give away up here. You know, just cool, fun things. Signed by our guest, Jaimie Alexander. So I'm going to talk first, and so let's get into this. So congratulations on Blindspot, by the way.
Thank you.
I mean, it is a very difficult thing to get a show on the air, but then have it be hugely successful and then just continue doing it. Was television something you always wanted to do?
You know, I mean, back in the day, I was like pretty much anything. I'd do a commercial, like whatever, I could do. But it wasn't like I got into film and then, I just wasn't finding roles that I really liked for a while. I was like, oh, this one's like, I don't know, I'm going to be kissing this guy or whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll get paid for it. But, it was just like I really wanted a strong female character. And sure. I was lucky in the Thor films to have that. And then this show came along and I'd read a bunch of pilots and then I was like, this is it. This will use my fight background and like pretty much like all my talents
mashed into one.
I was like, how far can I take this? I have like 3 talents. That's it.
Did they come to you with the show or did you audition for the show?
They came to me with the show.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it was funny because my showrunner, Martin Garrow, who's Canadian, had thought because I was on Kyle XY, which filmed in Canada, he thought I was Canadian. So I was like, sorry.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I'm just so happy to give, like Canadians more jobs. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm from Texas.
Yeah. The literal opposite of Canada in every way.
Yeah.
So how was the show pitched to you? Because it really, in the very first scene of the show, it's an incredible first scene. You emerge from a bag and
Yes.
you're completely naked in Times Square and you're covered in all these tattoos. Is that just you read that like first line of the page and said this looks incredible?
I was like, okay, I'll be naked and get paid for it, and extremely sticky. No, I was reading it and I was thinking like, okay, how many tattoos? It says covered in tats. I've read so many characters and they say that, and it's really like a giant rib tattoo and something on your leg.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like sporadic. I didn't realize it was literally like the only places I don't have tattoos on the show are the palms of my hands, the bottom of my feet, and this side of my neck.
Oh, my God.
Every armpit, everything's tatted. So I was like, okay, But as I'm reading it, I'm really just like, wow, Martin really wrote this female exceptionally well. Everything really tied together. There were twists I didn't expect. And this is all just in the pilot. So I went and met with them, met with the director, Mark Pellington, and they had plans for multiple seasons. I mean, this guy was like pitching me all kinds of stuff, and I was like, okay, so this isn't just like the pilot's going to be good and then the rest is going to be crap. You know what I mean? Because that always happens.
Right.
So I read it, I loved it, I met with them, we figured it out, and then there I was in Times Square on a Tuesday at about 4 a.m, naked, climbing out of a bag in the snow.
I mean, such a common story in New York.
I know.
You wake up naked in Times Square. Did I get a tattoo? Oh, I got 1,000 tattoos last night. 1,000 tattoos.
Holy.
The tattoos are really kind of a character on the show.
Yeah. Just like the city of New York is, you know
right.
what I mean? So it's so important, especially for me. I always try to find ways to like show them, because it'll be winter on the show, and of course it'll be like snowing in New York. And I'm like, what if I roll my sleeves up, And so we'll just put those on and that sort of thing. But it's so important to show them because, they are literally like an extra character on the show.
And what's your process like when you show up for work? Do you have to show up like 5 hours before you start shooting?
I show up completely wasted. I'm like, Here we go again. No, I'll call my makeup artist, who's amazing. Her name's Stephanie. If you can't tell, she's amazing. She puts these on me all the time. I'll ask her if she wants a coffee. We'll bring coffee for each other, and then we'll just stand there, and I'll be naked with like a sticker down there, and it's super awkward. And she'll just be putting the tats on, talking about her 2-year-old son and what they did on the weekend, and then we'll listen to some sort of horrible 80s rock, and then it's like tons of caffeine later. I'm still standing there 8 hours into it, and then
God.
But that's when I wear the full body, which, if you've seen the show, I don't wear that all the time.
Right.
Like, I'm in pants and normal people clothing.
Right.
And so we'll just put on the arms or the neck and whatever that would show normally, like in what I'm wearing right now. So that goes by pretty quick.
So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But
no.
but the role, I mean, it's all these things that I think if you go to drama school, they don't teach you how to sit for 8 hours in a makeup chair or how to act while you're having to like roundhouse kick people in the head.
Right.
So what are talk a little about the physical demands of the show and how that affects the acting part of the show.
I mean, it's funny because I'll put the tattoos on, and I'm having a hard time sitting here for this long. I do not like to stay in one place. I like to move around. I want to play with these hand things on this table.
Listen, this is your playhouse. You can play with whatever you want.
Yeah,
do you want a Lady Sif sword to play around with? And I mean, it looks.
This is holy Moses.
Right?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Oh, look at that! You did a hand flip thing, and you just stabbed me.
Well,
So casually too. I would have just taken off half my scalp if this were a real sword. This would not
way
be
to get
real.
a haircut.
That's the absolute best.
But yeah, I'm always looking around. So my makeup artist at one point, she put on this cartoon her son watches on her iPhone and sat it in front of me, and I don't know why, but I was like, that's interesting. I watched it for like 2 hours straight, and I didn't move, and she was like, okay. So she's like, you're like my son. So she will literally go, look over here, and then I'll be like, what? And she'll do something.
It's a tattoo, yeah.
And so it's just become this thing, and so so that helps. But then, we'll have these scenes where I'm doing these, insane fight scenes, but like sometimes I have to be teary-eyed, or I have like literally 4 paragraphs of dialogue to say as I'm beating the crap out of somebody.
Right.
And that can get pretty difficult. But at this point, I literally will show up, learn 5 moves in the fight, shoot those 5, then learn the next 5, shoot the next 5. I mean, I never have time to rehearse. So what I'm saying is, at any moment, I could attack you.
If you wanted to, any network is always like, hey, we'd sure love some viral clips of the show, and we don't really do that on the show. So if you wanted to just beat the shit out of me, I think AMC would love that. Like, there'd be a lot of clips that would go out. If you just want to just swing off the chair and kick me in the side of the head, I'll roll with it.
I think I remember, how many years ago was it? We went to grab coffee, and I tried to get him to ride on my motorcycle with me.
Oh, yeah, no fucking way.
He was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, we went and had lunch. We had lunch. I don't know. It's like 4 or 5 years ago at Luna Park. It was at Luna Park on La Brea in Wilshire, and I show up in my car, and then she shows up in this like friggin' leather jumpsuit, and like this helmet comes off like a space person, and this amazing motorcycle, and I go, what the fuck? Did you? Where did this come from? And you go, yeah, I just rode it over from my house. And I'm like, who does? That's incredible. I mean, first of all, I would not trust riding a motorcycle in Los Angeles.
No, it's
the streets are bad, and and people just they sort of pick a lane.
Yeah.
But it's and if you don't get murdered by our public transportation system, so
they do not care.
They're
do
not.
I wonder if I open the door, how far she'll fly off her bike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm always, very, very cautious.
Yeah, so you actually do live it. Like, it's not just you're not just an actor like, oh, in real life I'm frail. You are definitely not frail.
I mean, I'm frail. So you're right, I'm not.
Not
frail.
Not at all. But then also the other great side. I don't know. Hey, Brandon, do we have that picture that I sent you? Also, if you ever, I moved into a new house several years ago. I had no furniture or anything in the house, and Jaimie said, you know what? I love furniture shopping. So I said, okay, let's go antiquing. And I took this picture of Jaimie at an antique store in front of an elephant that I tried to talk myself out of not buying.
Yeah, I was
There's like an amusement park element. Why would I not want that elephant in my house?
Yeah, it was so funny. There was like a giant stormtrooper. There was some weird stuff. I was holding hands with a Spider-Man replica or something.
I mean, you say weird. I say normal stuff.
Right, but there were some very odd phallic things. If I remember, there was something.
Oh, at the store.
Like the boobs that hung on the wall thing.
Yeah, this was not in my house. No, I didn't get those.
I didn't know. I was like, teach their own. I don't know. But,
hey, don't take a dump on my wall tits.
But seriously.
No, I did not get any of the weird phallic stuff there.
Don't touch the art.
It's art.
Yeah.
But you really do take these roles that are so physically demanding. And did you fight Ronda Rousey? Did you have to fight Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
You did.
But I mean, TV fight.
Yeah.
So, but might I add, she's obviously an incredible fighter. And there were a few times, especially with my stunt double, where she landed a couple hits. Because, I thought about it. I was like, God, she's trained to make contact. So how do you reverse everything you've learned your entire life?
Right.
To not make contact. She was really great with me. My double, during rehearsal, she just clocked her in the face. And my double came to me, Heidi, who's incredible, comes up to me and she goes, oh, man, Rhonda, she hit me in the head and I'm so happy. And I was like, what? And I was like, I mean, yeah.
What a badge of honor.
Yes. And so I said, how many fingers am I holding up? Like, can you see? And she said, no, it's great. I mean, and then she threw me on the ground. And she was like, because we did a lot of throws.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, cool. And she's like, so, if you want, like, I'll do most of the fight with her. And I was like, you know what? Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I was nervous because she is a tank. And she is so lovely, you guys. She took pictures with every single crew member we had. Gracious, kind, super excited. Was so much fun, and she was just fantastic. I mean, I can't say enough good things about her. She's really cool. And might I add, when she was shooting the machine gun, I've never seen triceps on a woman pop through a shirt.
Yeah.
Ever.
They're just winking at you the whole time.
No, all of us, and I was supposed to run in this one take, and I was just staring at her, and then they were like, I heard them cue me, and I was just like, what? And then I ruined the take because I was staring at her.
You were hypnotized by her glorious triceps.
And now everybody knows that it was my fault. Anyways.
I'm interested to hear about, because you were talking about just roles for women that weren't satisfying for you. So what's an example of something that you see when you're reading a script and you immediately roll your eyes and you go, oh shit, not this again, really?
Well, it's okay. So for me, I just want things that challenge me, and I also know what I'm good at. So I want to excel at something I'm good at. That's like the physicality of roles, right? So I'm never really going to play the sweet girl next door. It's just not believable because you guys would be like, oh, she's got to be a serial killer, So I'll read some certain things. So I don't know if it's the fact that I wouldn't enjoy playing it. I don't know if it's necessarily a bad role for a woman. It's just not something I would like. So a lot of times I'll read scripts and it'll be something like, the character description will be this: bombshell body, extremely beautiful woman, and then but it doesn't tell you anything else. Like, what is she, a doctor? Like, what the hell does she do?
Right.
And so it'll just say that, and I'll go, and throw it out because I'm like, huh. And then a lot of times they'll describe a woman's upper half, and I'll be like, well, that's not happening, so I'll throw that out. But a lot of times it'll be just like kind of a woman that, verbally the way she's written is almost valley girlish, or she's always in damsel in distress, can't stand up for herself, and those characters are fine to play if there's an arc to it where things start to change and she starts to understand she is powerful, and that just doesn't happen a lot, and instead a lot of people want the woman to just be this beautiful woman that's pretty much in the movie for eye candy, and so that's why I don't work a lot.
Well, one of the ways that I've heard a lot of my friends who are female actors will say it's when the only role for the female characters is ultimately to define the male character.
Right.
Or to be there as a prop for the male, like the male characters are written very complex, and it's just like, oh, here's your tea or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So it goes both ways, because I've also read scripts where I've been like, wow, the guy is written terribly, but so is the female, and then you're just like, oh, this is
just a bad script. Well, the female character
50-50.
Yeah, the male character's pretty bad too.
Yeah.
So I got to give it to him for equality.
At least
everyone sucks in it.
Everyone
sucks in it.
Yeah. double sucky.
But you don't have to. I mean, I would imagine you don't necessarily have to audition much anymore for stuff, right?
I don't for TV. I was getting a lot of scripts but I'm the type that's like, if a director's like, we really just want to see you put something on tape, and I understand how people are visual, and so I'll be like, all right. And I just think it's fun. Like, I really have a good time, and I try to take something, even if there's a script that to me is 80% good, but there's just some dialogue that I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
I take it as a challenge and go, I wonder if I can make this line work.
Right.
Like, I wonder if I can make it good. Instead of being like, oh, your writing sucks, change it. It's my job to make it good. So
right.
So I try to do that. But yeah, I gravitate towards the strong female roles, and I don't know how to. I always feel kind of like a dick when I say that, because it's like it's implying that I am, all-powerful, strong female, and nothing can defeat me. But that's definitely not the case.
Well,
I'm not a great swimmer.
Well, then don't ride your motorcycle into a pool.
I will not.
But I think it just means that something has to be. I think you described it in the perfect way. It just has to be challenging for you in some way.
Yeah.
You have to feel like there's some growth or something. It can't just be a one-dimensional character.
Right, and I think something that would be challenging for me is I can, I mean, you guys were laughing. I don't know. Was there something telling you to laugh at what I say?
No, there's no.
Okay, so see,
there's no sign. Yeah,
I can be funny.
You can be funny.
But
yes.
But if somebody were to write.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna break a kneecap, fool, that's gonna happen.
You're gonna do it.
But if I was like given a script and they're like, okay, make this funny, I would probably look at it and be like, but it's not funny. I don't know how to make this funny. But if I get to make up the line, that's just, then it's being me. But if I got to improv, I'd probably be able to do comedy. But otherwise, it's really challenging for me because there's stuff with timing and things that I mostly do action and drama. So I'm like out of practice with being
You know
funny.
what, though? I'll bet you, I mean, if you're looking at it on a page and trying to get into the sort of the rationale of why something is funny, I think that you might be overthinking it. Because I think if someone just dropped you into a comedy scene, you'd figure it out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're right.
I really do. I think.
But it's one of those things that I find it intimidating. And then, I like to play a lot of physical comedy. Like, I genuinely think I'm Chris Farley inside. So it's like, and even though, like, physically I look one way, it seems to contradict the way my personality is.
Yeah.
So when I go and I will audition for comedy, people will just be like, "What the hell was that?" Because they're just like, "I don't get it." And then my tail goes. Whoop.
When you just burst through the door and go, "I'm living in a van down by the river." Yeah. That was crazy. It's a big choice.
Yeah,
That was a big choice.
And so.
But I know that I know, like you said, you grew up in Texas.
Texas, yes.
4 brothers?
4 too many, yes.
Are you? And you were the only girl in the family?
Yeah. Now, do you get it?
So what? And where are you in the age range in that group?
Well, I have one younger, and he had a baby 6 months. Well, he didn't, but
He watched his wife have a baby.
Pretty much. Yeah. And so that's amazing, but it's so weird to have my little brother, he has a kid and he's married, and I'm like, what's up? I don't know. I can't even paint my own fingernails. I have to go get that done. So,
gee, you only have a super successful career and a television show.
Great with a sword, terrible with anything feminine.
That's fine.
And then I have 3 older, so they're pretty rad. Tubular.
But did they torture you growing up? What do 4 brothers do with a...
They do until I win. There was one time my poor little brother I should just give him a freebie and just be like, just punch me in the face, because I used to dress him as a girl. Mm-hmm. I cut his hair under a cardboard table. I remember cutting his hair when I was like 6. Mm-hmm. My poor mother had the stomach flu and she didn't know, and I was like, "Mommy, look!" And I cut a V into his head. I'm glad I didn't kill him. So anyway, what I'm saying is I've always liked sharp objects. But yeah, I used to just really I was just so bad to him. And there was this one point where I don't know what happened, but I was like beating him up on the ground. And he lifted his head and he gave me a black eye. And then I remember being like, shit, because he's getting bigger. You know?
Yeah.
It's like he's growing. He's going to be bigger than me. And
that's when you aim for the nuts.
Right, that's what.
It doesn't matter how big they are.
So then I
go right for the stones.
Right, and I do. It's like that's.
Yeah.
that's...
Oh, you're big enough now. They've dropped. I'm going to hit them.
Right, yeah. I
It's
can
time.
go for the ankles. But yeah, and then I got into wrestling in high school, and my little brother kind of followed suit and ended up winning state and going to nationals, and then got a scholarship.
Oh, wow.
So so I don't fight him anymore.
No, but I know that you actually do understand self-defense.
Yeah.
And don't you help people understand self-defense?
I do, yeah. I for a while, especially when I was living here, because now I live in New York. When I was living here, I used to volunteer down at the Dream Center, which is in downtown LA. And if any of you guys want to know about it, I can talk to you after the show about it. But it's really cool. Like, anybody can volunteer. I work with an organization called Red Eye. And they pretty much take people in the arts and say, what can you contribute? And these are human trafficking victims. These are women who have been abused that have small children. These are guys who are in gangs that, really are trying to get their life back on track. So we go there, and I'll cook chili for, like, the moms and the children. And it's really fun. But I started training a lot of the young women who were human trafficking victims in the gym. So I was like trying to teach them to respect their bodies because they do not. And so I was working with those girls quite a bit, weightlifting, and then some yoga, some stuff like that. And then we started going over self-defense techniques that are, pretty much minimal effort, maximum results. If that makes sense.
Well, let's just say that you had a friend who was a guy who may not be that great with self-defense. It would be the guy I know, mutual friend. Mm-hmm. What would be something that you would show this person that I could then take home and tell them? Something that I haven't already taught that friend.
Okay, well, your friend.
Sure.
Okay, so you could tell your friend there are certain pressure points in the body that...
Pressure points?
I don't even want to show you guys because you're going to use it on your friends, or you're like, I just know I'm going to hear something, and they'd be like, my brother threw up because I, hit him in the rib pressure point.
That would be amazing.
Yes, I know, and there are things that you can do. So a knockout point is behind the ear. We know this from boxing.
Sure.
This is called a phoenix eye. If you push this in here, you can knock somebody out.
Okay.
So if somebody's got you in close quarters, you can grab their face and pull here and stick your fingers in their eyes.
Shit. Okay. Yeah, I'll totally do that.
And especially, they don't have to. I mean, they can. It takes little force to do it, and even if they're on top of you. So it's a really quick. If your arms are tied, you can use parts of your forehead to actually break someone's nose. And if you push up this way, this goes into the brain and kills somebody.
Well, that's not maybe something to play around with.
There's like a couple moves in Wing Chun, which I've been studying for the show, that are really just like energy based, and there's like 3 points where you can hit somebody, and then they're done.
That's it.
But that's why when I do them on the show, I really have to be so careful that I don't hyperextend and actually hit the person. And usually I'm fighting, I won't typically fight the other actor, I'll fight their double, because it's just safer that way.
Sure.
And so I feel like some people who've been doing martial arts for many years will get out of the way. Although I did break my nose. I got punched in the nose because I got a little...
What?
So in August... I know, it's like button, so it just healed. It doesn't do anything.
Oh, my God.
My mom was like, what happened? And she's like, it looks the same. I was like, my mom thinks it looks the same. It's the same.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think you should start making crew shirts that said, for guests that come on, that said, I was a guest on Blindspot. And all I got was my nose stabbed into my brain, or a black eye, or something.
There was blood. It was everywhere.
Everywhere.
But I've gone through some very interesting injuries. But it teaches me more about my body, and then also, in the beginning, so in the pilot, I was like a little string bean. I was like a little thin, whatever, and I was like, I need to put some weight on because I'm going to break in half. And so I put on like 20 pounds because I was like, I have to be able to hit a wall and not shatter. So I'm going to, so pizza, it was the best. I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried to gain weight on purpose. It is the best time ever.
Well, yeah, especially because when you're working out, you have to you have to bulk up, so that you can lift more and get stronger.
Yeah, and I did notice I was like able to there's this with Rhonda, she's a tank, and she gets shot, and she falls back on me. And I was like, okay, cool. She knocked me to the ground, and I caught her, and I was like, oh, God. And then I was like, man up, Jaimie, because I was like, I can't say that hurt. 5 takes later, I was like, because my knee was like so swollen with fluid because I was on the cement taking her weight on top of mine.
Oh,
on
well,
my
of
knee.
course. Yeah, of course.
And but still, I was like, I'm not going to say anything. And now, we don't really know each other that well, so even if I say it in public now, it's okay.
It's totally fine. Yeah, it's totally cool.
Yeah.
So so it sounds like you're pretty good with injury too. You just shake it off.
Fast. I heal fast, and I've got so many, like, such an amazing stunt team, and we know to, like, wrap my ankles, and then we do all kinds of stuff like that to prevent, like, some serious stuff happening. But it just happens. If you do this every day, you're just bound to,
Yeah, honestly, and it's no secret that men have a much lower threshold for pain. My wife was combat training for a while, and so she was. I came home one day, and she was training in our driveway, and she had these 2 fucking machetes, and this dude, and she was like, shink, 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 and one of the machetes like hit her arm, and her arm like swelled up and stuff, and it's like, what happened? Oh yeah, the machete, and I'm like, yeah, but this paper cut is like
it stings.
And I got some lemon in it, and it's like, fuck, it really hurt, like there's just no,
I know.
we have no tolerance for pain whatsoever.
I know. And I thought that was so funny because the more I realized it, like, there'll be some actors that come on our show and say there's like they need to get their eyebrows tweezed or something.
No, that hurts like shit.
I know, but it's funny because the girls will just sit there and have a full conversation. You'll be pulling hairs out of our nose and wherever else, and we'll just be like, so anyways, did you see what Tad said? And then it's like, a guy will be like, stop it, you're killing me.
I've only ever done it a couple of times because, every once in a while, as you start to get older, what happens is that all the hair on your body just starts vining up toward your head, or it's trying to escape.
Yeah.
It senses death, and so it just all tries to escape your body. And so they just start getting crazy. So I have pulled a couple out, and it's like your eyes while you're like, fuck, I heard that one crunch. Like, you can hear it when it goes thwip.
It was in deep,
yeah.
Or you'll sneeze. That always happens to me. They'll just be like, ding, ding, and I'll be like, I'm like, stand back, it's coming.
Here it comes. Yeah, I just don't, there's just no tolerance at all. Is there any type of meditation that you do, or any type of...
there is a thing that you can do to, I guess, toughen up. Not that I'm saying you need to, but I'm just saying. I do. Aside from, like, smoking cigars and drinking whiskey. No,
right.
I'm just kidding. I only do one of those. But what you do is you take sandbags and somebody hits you with them, and you try not to move. So you can be in like a Wing Chun stance, and somebody will hit you, and you have to stay solid. But it's to pretty much toughen you up to be hit,
right?
To take hits. And I am sure that. I don't know if they do that in judo. I'm trying to think. I think they do that in quite a few different art forms in that way. But they were like, somebody was mentioning it to me, and I was like, you hit me with a sandbag, I will knock your head off. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'll break a bone. I'll be like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah, I don't really have any of that. Like, I know Lydia told the story. Lydia's dad was a police officer, and he was a private detective, and he always taught her, like, how to stuff. And she was and she's just this tiny little person. And when she was in, like, first grade, some kid on the bus was like just bullying her and like jamming his finger, and she's just this adorable little. She just goes, "Oh, crick," and just like broke the guy's finger back. And then her mom was to her dad was like, "Why did you teach her to do that?" And he was like, "It worked. He stopped bullying her." So she is that person, and when she trains, if like I get nervous when if anyone like were to get in her face, because without thinking, she just might be like, or like or something.
Yeah, reactionary. I have experienced this twice. I am not a violent person at all. I actually really hate guns, and I've had to really get used to them on the show. But I was in a bar recently, and there were these 2 guys in the bar, and it was crowded. It was like a really fun bar in Williamsburg, like hole in the wall. They have like Shinerbach, which was awesome. Anyways, that's aside the point. Anyways, these 2 guys. This one guy, I just remember he had a green shirt. His name was Phil, and I was like, "Your name is Phil. You're an ass. Like, you just look like an asshole." Like, is it
and that green shirt.
Phil, yeah, and he was just like, and he goes, "Hey, Sif," and then I was like,
Here we go.
And I turned around, I was like, "Hi," and then I'm polite, and I was being polite, and then he started asking me if I could fight like I do as Lady Sif, and I was like, "Well, I don't have any armor or a sword or shield," and I was like, "So I'm not right now."
Right.
And I had a beer in front of me, and I was like, in my brain, I'm thinking the exit's that way. I could break the beer. Like, my brain's like, what am I doing? So I eventually get away from them for a second, and I had to use the bathroom. Now, I don't know about you ladies, but the line for the women's restroom is stupid long and so unfair. And so I'm in this line, and I didn't want to lose my place in line, but these two fools came up and started messing with me again, and I was like, you have to be, I gotta pee, you need to back off, I'll see you in a second. And they just wouldn't leave me alone. And part of me was like, I don't know what to do, because they were starting to grab my shoulders.
Oh, not okay.
Starting to be really weird.
Not okay.
So the person who owned the bar was like trying to kick them out, but I was like, if they go outside and I go outside, I don't know if this is going to be weird. I've never had this happen because most people are nice.
Right.
Except
for fucking Phil.
Right, Phil. I hope you're watching.
Yeah.
You asshat.
Phil. He's the guy that. He's the guy that all of his friends are always like apologizing for.
Right,
you know,
pretty
Phil.
much, I'm sure.
Phil got really drunk last night.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. He's like,
Had to
anyway.
bail him out again. It's like someone should talk to him.
But yeah, I was very close to like having to do something, and I just thought I just need to leave, and so I left. So I was good, right? I was like, I didn't use anything I was taught on the show or high school wrestling, none of that. I was like, I'm just going to walk away from this because this guy is just a dumb motherfucker. So the next time I go to my friend's wedding, it's in Vegas, okay? This is so lots of drunk people in Vegas, and I'm in a bar, and this guy. I don't go to bars all the time. This just happens to be like you. I was like, I'm starting to sound like an alcoholic. Anyway,
you want to talk about something?
What time is it?
Anyway, I was in a bar, and I'm beating this guy's head against the floor, and I don't know what it.
Kind of. Well, no, not. I mean, definitely thought about it.
You thought about it.
But this guy, you know, I was sitting there talking to this really sweet girl that was she was also a wedding guest, and she's very petite, sweet girl that's out here that's an actress, and she was like, I don't know how to, you know, get into playing roles like you do. I think it sounds so much fun. Like, I wish I could. And I was talking to her. I'm like, well, you absolutely can. You can do anything you want. And she's like, I don't know. You're just like so tough. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, that on the show. I mean, I don't like do all that stuff. Guy walks up like on cue, like literally on cue, and grabs this girl's butt and starts like putting his face near hers. And I got so angry. I took him, like, I hit him in the chest really hard, slid my hand up, grabbed his shirt, and like threw him backwards. And I was like, go away. And he goes, I don't give a fuck what you were trying to do. I was like, get away. Like, I was like, leave, pretty much, but like way better than what I just did.
I don't have a blind spot, motherfucker. Like, I'll hit you from every direction.
But I was like, I felt so bad after because I was like, what did I just do? I was like, I could have easily just been like, okay, let's, like, her and I could have left. Instead, I like literally scared the shit out of this guy.
Good.
But then he stared at me for like a beat too long. I was like, he totally knows who I am. So this is even worse because he's probably like, she's really Jane Doe. And I was like,
right.
Kind of right now, yeah. But I was like one of those things where I was like, oh my God, it was just my immediate reaction was to, instead of leaving or saying, yo, dude, that's
He 100% deserved
I know,
exactly what you did.
Like,
100%. It's not like, I mean, it's not like he came up and started talking shit and then you got physical.
No,
he brought physical to the table.
I know, and
then you just bust the table.
I did.
Yeah.
I know. And she was very petite, and she just stood there, and I was like, what the hell is happening? And then I was like, okay, and you know, there it was.
But you know what's awesome about that story is that you very well could have changed the course of her life because now she'll be like, shit, I need to learn how to do that. And so maybe it like boosted her sense of confidence and well-being.
And also, might I add, I was in a weird bridesmaid's tracksuit, and I had...
What's a bridesmaid's tracksuit?
So I had a very beautiful updo. I had like fake lashes and earrings, so I looked probably like some weird fucked up version of a prom queen. And so I'm sure this guy was like not expecting this shit to happen because everybody was dressed up and Vegas style. And
I still don't know what a bridesmaid tracksuit is. Who are the people? Were these people 80 that got married? What's a tracksuit?
It's velvet. And it matches. And mine was black, so it was classy. It was
nice, very classy tracksuit for Vegas.
No periwinkle.
No.
But yeah, I just went downstairs because we'd all been in our bridesmaids gowns, and the rule was like everybody go change. We're just going to go to a low key bar, and that's going to be it. So I was like, great, I'm putting on that tracksuit thing, and so I came down in the tracksuit, and so everything about it was just weird.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that guy probably thinks it's a nightmare. Like he probably doesn't really think that happened for real. That this like weird, like prom queen, but really messed up prom queen, attacked him in a tracksuit in a bar called Senor Frogs.
I think. Adios.
Super classy establishment. So. But I told my teacher, my Wing Chun teacher, I was like, I need to practice control with that because it just came out of nowhere. I mean, I really instead of telling the guy to just leave and that's not okay, I literally, I hurt him. Like, I know I did because I know how to hit there and it's terrible. It's horrible. Like, I know
whatever.
that.
No permanent tissue damage.
Yeah.
You know what? Then maybe he'll think twice before trying to grab some lady the next time.
I know.
So.
I couldn't even believe it. I thought for a second it was maybe her boyfriend or they knew each other until I saw her face and I was like, and then my amazing assistant who's here right now, she was there and she just started laughing. And I remember being like, oh my God, what am I doing? And she's over there like, that was great. She's like laughing. And I was like, Lauren, like, oh my God, I have to get out of here. I just totally hurt this person. And I don't know, do you get arrested for that? Or...
No!
I was terrified. I was like, I need to get out of here. Because like in Vegas, they have cameras everywhere. And I was like, great, I'm going to be like on the news attacking
Oh my God, the footage from that would have been amazing.
Like, oh my God.
I wish someone would put that on YouTube.
It was bad.
Jaimie Alexander takes down Phil number 2. That guy's name was Phil too. You know that guy's name was Phil.
It had to have been.
I mean, it's to hear that people are going like, "Hey, Sif." I mean, you can already tell
you're screwed.
You can already tell like, God, this guy wants fucking trouble.
Yeah.
But being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is such an incredible thing because that is something you will always be her. You will always be a part of that universe. Yeah. So how did you get involved with Marvel?
Well, it was crazy. I was on a show called Kyle XY. It got canceled. I had saved as much money as I could, but the writers, there was a writer's strike in 2009. The economy just tanked. Like, you couldn't get a job anywhere. I mean, I was like, I will mop your floors, nothing. So I went and started, like, applying at different restaurants, and I got to this one bar called Happy Endings. And, and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll hire you. And I was like, terrific. It's an Ohio State football bar, okay? It's not what you think. However, Marvel didn't know that. So this is what happened. I was there. I was waiting tables. I was literally like, I'm going to leave LA. It's just not working out. Like, I back waitressing, I was on a show. I thought I would be able to keep up the momentum, and it was just really difficult, right? So I'm cleaning. Literally, they have beer pong there. I don't know if you guys have ever been there. It's still here. It's on Sunset Boulevard, and there's beer pong. There's a Wheel of Fortune, and you spin that, and then you have to drink what it tells you to drink.
Jesus.
I mean, it's that place, right? So I'm in there, and people are drunk, so I'm making great tips. It's great. And there would always be a group of ladies. I'm sure this happened in the men's room, but because I'm not a dude most days, I didn't go in there and clean it up. But I had to go and vomit off the women's bathroom, So I got this call to audition for, they wouldn't tell me what it was, just a movie where I was going to be a superhero. So I was like, okay. So I go in and I read for it, and I'm like, I'm one of the last people to go in. Like, they have been trying to cast this for, like, months. And I was like, this is never going to work out. So I go in there, and I do the audition, and I leave, and I go to the bar and mop up some more puke. And I just, I didn't hear anything for a week. So I was like, you know what? Screw this. Like, I'm going to give up. I can feel it. And I, cried, and I fell asleep and took myself a nap before my shift at the bar. And then I woke up and I had 30 missed calls. And then they were like, Kenneth Branagh wants to Skype with you. And I was like, really?
What?
And then I was like, well, I got to go to the bar. Otherwise, I'm going to get fired. So I was like, I can't Skype with him right now because I was like, I literally need to pay my rent and feed myself. So we set it up. I Skyped with him. I went back in and put the scene on tape a bunch of different ways for him because he was overseas. Then I get this call from Kevin Feige and Chris Kyle at Marvel, and they're like, will you come and meet us? We're down in Manhattan Beach. So I'm like, okay. So I got somebody to cover the shift. Go down there. And I have a collection of knives. I like to collect knives. That's a totally normal thing to do.
It is. It's very normal.
It started when I was a kid. I'm just going to say 4 brothers. It was just you always had a pocket knife or something. And then I just started really loving William Henry's a piece of jewelry, all these knives, Spyderco, everything, Kershaw. So I had a big knife in my bag, and my purse fell off the chair next to me in front of the Marvel people, and a knife fell out along with a tampon. So, and I was like, could this week get any worse? Because I was like, I'm going to go clean up puke in about 2 hours, and I just dropped a knife and a tampon in front of all these people, and I was like, I'm going to get arrested.
How do you not make a joke out of that? Or you're like,
no,
this one,
they were like,
makes the blood flow from the body. This one. Anyway, can I have the part?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a well-balanced individual.
I mean, you see that.
It's done. It's done. In fact, I'll sign it in blood.
Well, Kevin, Kevin's such a sweet guy, and they've done such an incredible job over there. Yeah. But also, when I first saw you, in that movie, and then I met you afterwards. I was like, oh, you're not British. I legit thought you were, because of course it makes sense. Nordic gods would have British accents. So was that? I assume that might have been the Kenneth Branagh.
Well, that was, and that was the funny thing, because when we all got to set eventually, after they horribly pranked me, and it's probably because I accidentally somehow pulled a knife on them, but not really.
You also pulled a tampon on them, technically.
I did. I was like, there you go. That's me in a nutshell.
Wanna rumble?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, this one. Sorry.
I'm not going to go any further.
No, please do.
I won't, no.
No, you're among friends. All right.
So the British accent thing came from, we had, originally, there was a fellow from Japan, one from Ireland, I'm from the U.S., Chris is Australian. Nobody was from England except for Tom Hiddleston.
Right.
And then, of course, like, we ended up getting more people, But we were like, what are we supposed to do? And they had toyed with me being Irish, like having a sing-song type of accent. And then we were just going through it, and Ken was like, you know what? We're just going to make it pretty standard, and, like, Tom has a very standard British accent that's, like, articulate and whatever.
Right.
So pretty much, like, what was happening was we were going up to Tom and be like, hey, will you say this really quick? and then he'd be like, read it, and then I would go, great, thank you. But we had dialect coach, but, a lot of us were like, we're supposed to match Tom in a way, so we were just asking him to say stuff. And I was like, well, I mean, it'll all happen. So in the second one, we didn't have Ken, and we went there, and they were like, we're going to go for more of, like, a mid-Atlantic. So I was like, well, what the hell does that mean? And they're like, just not as, like, posh or proper. And I was like, okay, I'm from Texas. I don't know the difference.
You just have to talk the way Madonna talks.
I think, right? Or Lindsay Lohan now, I think.
Right.
I'm not sure. I was like,
I don't know whatever to do.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
A lot of that stuff.
It's like, so then I was like, all right, so I guess we're going to have different accents in the segment. But anyways, they were just like, instead of saying like forbidden, it would be much softer. So like instead of hitting all the D's and the T's and like all that stuff, it just needs to flow a little bit like easier. So we did that, and we had a different dialect coach. He was Irish, and then I was just like, you guys are fucking me up, because I don't understand like which way is what, but it was really fun. Yeah, it was really, really fun. So Ken really set the bar extremely high for those films, I think.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our audience members are going to come up. They're going to ask questions. I'm going to give them fabulous prizes. And remember, we want to hear from you guys at home. Use @Talking on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and you can find updates about our upcoming guests. Ask questions. You can be a part of the conversation if you want. That is my pledge to you. I'm going to read some questions off cards, too. We'll have some video chat answers, more in a bit with Jaimie Alexander. We'll see you. Welcome back to Talking with Chris Hardwick. Jaimie Alexander is here, and now we're going to have an audience member ask a question. So let's do that. Someone come on up and ask a question. Hello. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Kelly from Los Angeles.
Oh, excellent. What is your question?
So you play a lot of strong female characters. What would you say to a girl that's struggling with low self-esteem?
Oh, that's actually a very, thank you. That's an awesome question. I struggle with it all the time. I still do. I mostly did when I was a lot younger. I'm in my 30s now, so I'm trying to figure shit out. But the thing is, there is no duplicate of you. And it's something you really have to listen to, because you can't be recreated. You just can't. So that gives you an advantage over everybody in this room. That there's no way that they can be you, and you have something to offer. So that alone is everything. Because we go into castings all the time, and you're sitting there with like a bunch of other girls that like probably are thinner, bigger boobs, better hair, whatever, and you have to go, you know what? But they're still not me. And so that's what you have to put forward, is that you are on this earth for a reason, and you are you, and no one else can top that.
What do I...
Got a very interesting box of stuff over here.
I don't know if this was all supposed to go together. Okay, great. Would you like a sword or a shield?
I'll take a sword.
You'll take a sword. All right. There you go. We have a video message for Jaimie. Let's see what it is.
Hi Jaimie, my name's Megan and I'm from Kent in England. If I could ask you one question, it would be, what makes you break character the most during filming and why?
We get subtitles with that?
Wait, what character? Wait, no, how do we do that? Do I watch it again?
Yeah, let's watch it again.
Hi Jaimie, my name's Megan and I'm from Kent in England. If I could ask you one question, it would be, what makes you break character the most during filming and why?
What makes you break character most during filming and why? It's obvious that's what is being said.
Pretty much, I'm horrible if I'm in a scene with somebody and there's a third person and they don't, they're not talking just yet. I'm just talking with somebody else and I look over and they're like this. Like they're trying, for some reason something's funny and they're trying not to laugh, so they look up this way and I cannot keep a straight face. Like I'll just start busting out laughing. Like I can't help it. There's Audrey who plays Agent Zapata on our show. She is the worst. If I catch her, so my co-star is doing an American accent, okay, Sullivan Stapleton. Sometimes certain things come out of his mouth that just sound really crazy or weird, and then we'll be like, "What'd you say?" Like that, like case in point, like her. It's funny, but you'll try to because he'll stay really serious, and you'll try not to laugh because you're like, don't want to be an asshole, but it's funny because it's funny, right?
Right.
So she'll go and she'll have her hair down, she'll flick her hair in front of her face, and try to turn away, and I'll be like, fuck. And I'm like, oh. And then everybody just breaks, and then he's like, what? And we're like, nothing. Like, I don't know. But then it just gets worse and worse. So once you get the giggles going, it's like, forget it.
This is where the Texas in you needs to come out, and you just go, you talk funny. Yeah.
I can't understand.
I don't understand it. You just talk funny.
Yeah, but it's all in good fun. But yeah, I can't. If I catch somebody else trying to not laugh.
You can't. You just break
Terrible.
it. Let's take a couple of questions from the internet.
Okay.
I don't know if some of these. I don't know if you. I feel like these are questions you may not be able to answer. Or you can answer this.
Or they have a sexual nature or something.
No. No.
Well, that would be the only thing I don't want to talk about here.
No, I was talking about.
I'm confused.
Like season 3 questions.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean.
Like I would ever.
I don't know.
These are. I mean, we already know you carry around a knife and a tampon. Like I already know that. No. It's just things that are coming up on the show that you probably can't talk about.
Okay.
But you can talk about this. Aletheria Cha on Twitter says, "What is your favorite scene in season 2?"
Oh God. This is also going to make me sound really crazy, but I like the torture scene. When I'm being tortured in the first episode back in season 2, there's this great montage of my character being held in a black site, a CIA black site, and she's being tortured, and then she finally gets the upper hand and just annihilates everybody in there that was torturing her.
Yeah.
So that was one of my favorite scenes to be a part of because of just working with all those stunt people. It was so much fun. The gravity of the scene, the makeup, the prosthetics I had to wear, and everything like that was pretty rad.
Okay, so that's good. Okay, this is from Emily Konyeksny. I don't know how all these letters are supposed to be separated. What was your reaction when you read the finale?
Oh, man. I was like, okay, so I loved it.
Oh, wait, hang on one sec. They just said to hold because your mic is all screwy. Sorry.
Oh, that is way further down than it was before.
Here comes everyone.
I think it's because my shirt untied itself. I mean, unless there's like a little fairy back there that's untying stuff. I don't have one of those. I don't have a wardrobe person. Can't you tell? Pull this up. And then, yeah. Wait, what was the question?
The question was, what was your favourite when you came to the thing?
There
was all right in the loo.
Phil. Okay.
Welcome to What's All This, then? Okay. The question again was... All right, here. Boy, I don't know how to say this name. Stop it! I have it right here! How dare you! I'm driving here. I will turn this car around and take you kids home. And no ice cream. But thank you for paying attention, though. I really got to say, that was... This guy didn't jump in. You had it right there. All right, great. The question was, what was your... From Emily Konyeksny, what was your reaction when you read the finale?
All right. So, when I read the finale, a a lot of it was just bananas in a good way. I was like, whoa, that's happening, that's happening. I love the 2-year jump that she's been missing for 2 years, which obviously in season 3 we'll get to see where she's been. The glowing tattoo thing threw me for a loop. Only because I was like, now how the F are we supposed to do this for season 3 where I gotta glow now? I already have tats everywhere. How are you gonna glue little LED lights to my body? So I was a little confused. But then the sci-fi side of me was like, I like this. But then I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do with this. And I was like, is it a dream? I mean, I had so many questions. And of course, they're like, we're not telling you. You have the biggest mouth in the free world. I'll just tell everybody what happens in the next season. So I still don't really know what the glowing...
So you still don't know yet?
Yeah, she's a glowworm.
She's a glowworm.
She's
That's
a
what it is.
glowworm.
She's a glowworm, and she's going to turn into a glow butterfly.
Yeah,
by the
she
time
probably
it's all
loved
done.
Tron as a kid. I feel like it's...
Who didn't love Tron as a kid? That movie's amazing.
I know. But yeah, I was very excited, and then also had tons of questions, which is great, because hopefully so do you guys, so you'll watch season 3.
I mean, is that a direction that you think it's going in? Like,
I don't think it's definitely not going to go the sci-fi route, just because we're trying to keep it very balanced in reality and that kind of thing. But I did find out like why those are there.
Okay.
I'm really trying to behave.
Yeah.
Next question.
It's hard. The next question is,
Yes.
why are those there?
Yeah.
I also know, even just hearing you reference Tron is utterly delightful because I know you also read comic books too and stuff, and you're into a lot of the stuff that you are now a part of in your professional career.
Yeah.
So what types of stuff were you into?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I used to daydream I was Jubilee. So my thing was I cut my hair into a pixie, and then I tried to find a yellow. By the way, I look like crap in yellow. I can't wear yellow. I look like I'm dying. I turn green. It's weird. It's horrible. It's like an olive complexion thing. But anyways, she was my favorite. Favorite. Not a huge fan of her being a vampire, though.
Right.
Kind of skipped those books. Sorry, didn't mean to be a dick, but that was weird. Gambit was my other favorite, so that made sense. But I was like really big into X-Men, Spider-Man, pretty much whatever my brothers had, I would use. Like, because we were pretty poor, so it's not like I could go and buy like all the things I wanted. So I would pretty much read whatever they were reading.
Right.
And it was stuff like Spider-Man, Superman, all the basics. And then I used to daydream that I was a superhero. Like, I'd always try to think of, like, ways I could be one. And, like, if I jumped out of the tree, like, would I die or break a leg? And then I would try it, and then,
Yeah.
As an Ivy later. But it was like, I was just always doing that kind of stuff and running around making capes, like forts on my bed, like everything, everything. So that just sort of stuck with me. And then, of course, when I got to play Sif, I was just really excited.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's always nice for the fans to hear, like, oh, it's not just some role. Like, it really was something that was such a central part of who you are and what you were into when you were growing up.
Yeah, it was one of those things when we were on set and all of us are in our costumes and we're like, this is what we dreamed of as a kid. This is so crazy, and we're actually getting paid to do this. And I would look at myself in the mirror, and I was just a giant. I mean, I had like tall boots. I was probably like 6'3" as Sif. So it was just like the little kid part of me was just so excited, and I still get really.
And I know you're a Star Wars fan too.
Yeah.
Have you done the Chewbacca voice for? You must have done it for people before.
Oh yeah, man! It's like that's my backup plan. That's my plan B. If I don't get another acting gig, I'm just going to open a booth and I'm going to do Chewbacca, and then you guys got to pay like $1. Because what
$1 for Chewbacca is totally worth it.
I know, because I feel like that's. See, I have faith in myself that I'll garner like a ton of people coming through that booth.
Hey Spence, can I have $1?
So.
Spence, give me $1.
Okay, but I don't
Thanks, Spence.
have anywhere to put that.
Hi, I would like to talk to Chewbacca, please.
Okay.
What? Phil did what? I think you should totally do that.
I'm just going to do that to the next Phil. I'm just going to do Chewbacca to him and see what happens.
But I got some news for you. You could charge more than $1 for that. I think people would pay a lot of money to come up to Comic-Con and have you just do that to them.
Don't give me any ideas. I'm gonna. You'll see me this July. I'll be able to.
Do we have time for another audience question? We're going to take a break. Okay. Before we go to break, I want to let you guys know the extended version of this chat is available as a podcast on Nerdist, which you've already done, but this is a different conversation altogether. Go to amc.com/talking for bonus clips, exclusive content, and links to the podcast for every one of our episodes. More with Jaimie Alexander when we come back. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Jaimie Alexander is talking with Chris Hardwick. Let's take another question from the studio audience. Come on up. What is your question? Hello.
I'm Jana.
What's your name?
I'm Jana.
Jan.
I'm from Chicago. And my question is, what is your fondest memory of working on Kyle XY?
Oh, wow. Gosh, probably just any scene I had with Matt Dallas. He was just so lovely. He's still one of my closest friends. He's like my brother. Just incredible guy. We had a fight scene on the edge of the Cleveland Dam. It was actually the first big jump I did off of... I'm nuts, by the way. I can't even believe I did that. Like, very close to it. It scared the crap out of me without a harness. My stunt girl just shoved me in the back, and I was like, boink. I was like, okay. Like, yeah, I know. We are friends, but this is weird, right? Opposites attract as friends. So here's what I did. I, like, jumped off the thing. Matt, like, came up to me, and then we had this fight scene. He turned into one of my punches, and I gave him a black eye. And he was like, it's okay. And he gave me a hug, and I was like, I love you. And that was like one of the best people I've ever worked with. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Let's see. What do I have for you here? What is this? This is, I'm trying to see if there is a Kyle XY related thing here.
Oh, no.
No, there isn't. But I can give you how about the pilot script to Blindspot signed? Okay, great. There's a for you. Yes. Appreciate me because I give you things. I will buy your appreciation. Let's take another video message.
Hi, I'm Paul from Hatfield, PA. And my question is, now that you're a big part of Marvel's MCU, would you ever consider doing a spin-off of just Lady Sif or Lady Sif and the Warriors 3?
Yes, and yes. That would be so much fun. I would love to do something like that. So I feel like I need to give him a longer answer. But
Well,
really,
he asked you a yes or no question.
Yes, with a capital Y.
Yeah, he asked you a yes or no
Yes.
question. That's totally fair. Let's have another studio audience question. Come on up. What's your name?
I am Mike from Denver, Colorado.
Excellent.
And I wanted to know, if you didn't become an actress, what would you be?
Ooh, I would probably be a chef. Yeah, I grew up cooking a lot, and I absolutely love it. I would absolutely just be a chef.
What would you like to make? You already
Knives.
said chili. You like to make maybe... Okay, I don't know if you know what a chef is. Chefs don't make knives. Oh, using knives.
Butcher, but
using
yeah.
knives. Yeah.
No, I love. I make a lot of Southwest cuisines. My mom is incredible. She's taught me pretty much everything I know. So anything spicy, chili, tacos. I make food in stages so that it can accommodate a vegan, a vegetarian, and a meatitarian. So I do that so that everybody in the family can just go, okay, I want some steak, or I just want some greens.
I just want a thing that's not steak, but it's a fake steak.
Yes, that would be Phil.
That would be Phil. Phil would say that. And he's not even a vegan. He's just being a dick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, what do I have left for you? I have a sheet.
I mean, the costume.
I'll let you. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, sure. If you want the costume, or would you like the?
No.
You like the shield? Would a shield be of your? Or would you like a Thor script?
Thor script.
Thor script.
Right.
Here you go. Thor script signed by Jaimie Alexander. Oh, you have a great signature.
Thanks.
You have a really great signature.
Oh,
Here, can I
God.
get this on the camera? This is a really great signature. But there's almost like a face in it that's like, meh, like right there. That guy right there. Here's your Thor script. Thank you so much. Let's just rifle through just a couple more social media questions just so... Oh, here we go. This is from Camille Quirazov. Fuck, I'm sorry. It's Camille and then Quirozv. Any takers on that? All right. What do you see Jane Doe doing in 5 years into the future?
Laser removal.
Oh, that'd be so painful. That'd be such a painful process.
I mean, I am currently still in the process of getting a gigantic I have a ton of my own really.
Oh, let's see. What are you
tattoos.
getting removed?
Well, it was a giant Pisces fish. So it went from here to here, and I just tell you, laser removal is the most painful thing I have ever experienced. And I've broken a lot of bones, and it swells like a golf ball. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
But I had to stop when I got the show because we stick tattoos over it, and it can't be, no.
Oh, okay, good. I thought it was something like your mom was like, oh, actually, you're a
I like that one.
Capricorn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
shit.
Oh, God.
Why did you say something?
God, son of a. Yeah,
I know.
she loves my tattoos.
I mean, my ex-girlfriend had just a simple black band around her arm, and was like, and it was the same thing. Where it was like, oh, it was tough to work because they always have to cover it up.
Yeah.
So someone gave her she won in a raffle like a coupon for 5 laser removals.
Yeah.
And she goes in, and they're like, oh yeah, we should be able to do this in 5 or 6 treatments.
No.
The first time when she was in pain, she would laugh. So she'd be like, but tears streaming down her face. Because you hear it. It goes
it's
pop, 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 and it like dissolves, and then
And you smell it too.
And you smell it. It smells like burning, and it's your fucking flesh.
Yeah.
And it legitimately took like 2.5 years to make it fully go away. Because you can't. You have to take some time in between treatments.
Yeah, a couple months in between treatments. And then they like, if you go to an institute for laser, they can inject you with like a numbing, I don't know what that would be.
Isn't it like a local anesthetic or something?
I don't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
just
something
bite
like that.
down on a leather strap.
Pretty much. I'm squeezing like this little stress ball, and I'm like, I'm gonna break this. I was like, oh, and they would. So if you're really pale like I am, and you have black ink, it picks it up fast. It goes away quicker, but it hurts so bad. And so I would just, wear like bandages around my arm, and it totally made me feel cool.
Hey, how many treatments so far?
I've had like 15 treatments.
Holy shit! And what's left?
This is scarred. This is a deeper ink. It depends how deep the ink is, and this had faded to gray, so they were able to get that off really easy. But yeah, it's just one of those things. So I just left it, and so I'll probably 2 more treatments, and it'll go away.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Or I could just get your, something for you here if you.
Oh, that'd be really nice. Yeah, I'm a Sagittarius. If you want to put a centaur.
Maybe some archery. Maybe like something sharp.
I believe your tattoo. Phil is a piece of shit. Why is fuck Phil? Why would you fucking Phil? It's just the name of every dude you beat the shit out of in a bar. All up the side of your arm.
Oh man.
Okay, this is from Irina Costa on Twitter. For you, what is the best quality and what is the biggest flaw of Jane?
Oh man, that's 2 questions, lady.
God.
The best quality, I think, is just her intuition, her instinct is to help, is always to save and help. The worst one would be something that I have too, where she's very reactionary, so she'll just take your head off. Like, you know what I mean? She's just like right away. She's just like pow, or just like knocking somebody out, and maybe I should stop talking. Next question.
That's fine. Listen, I think it's great. I think people need to know.
I feel like I'm going to get arrested as soon as I leave here. I carry illegal blades and all kinds of stuff. I don't have one here today.
No, that's what?
I promise.
You promise? Yes. All right. This is from Metal Guru 73. What do you fancy for breakfast?
Oh, well. If I worked out, I have a protein shake because I'm super busy. Otherwise, it's like fried eggs, toast, the works.
Good.
Anything spicy. Yeah.
Good. And then 2 more things. Because you are a knife fan, talk about knives for a second. Like, what's a knife that you like, and what is it that you like about it?
Well, so I have this. I don't know who makes this because it's not. A stunt girl I worked with gave it to me, but it's a claw. It's like a hook, and the bottom has a circle. So I don't know what that's for. I guess you can club somebody. I have no idea.
Sure.
Anyways, I like it because you can actually put it through your hands, and you can punch somebody if you have to. This is not okay. You're going to get me arrested. Okay, so
this segment's called Exhibit A.
What not to do? Oh man.
But what is it that attracts you to, like, what is it about knives? Is it the artistry, or is it the...
So it's like William Henry, if you know of any of those knives. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them. You don't use those to open boxes. They're beautiful. And the swirls in the steel are so perfect. They sometimes they'll be like ingrained with pearls and things like that. So it can be like, it's definitely a collector's knife in my opinion. It's beautiful. It's like jewelry. So some people invest in jewelry. I invest in knives. Anyways, and then I happen to really like Kershaw. That was like my first brand of a knife. They're super easy, very light, very affordable. Spyderco is really good. They use those a lot in the military. They typically a lot of them have handles that won't melt or freeze. So if you're outside and it's super hot or something and it's laying on a metal table, you can grab the knife and it won't burn you. This is super weird.
Not at all, because I feel like...
This is a coffee conversation, not in front of the public.
I think people need to know. People need to know that if there is an apocalypse, you are the leader of it.
I guess, but...
Yeah. I mean, there is 100% no question. I mean, my Lydia's the same way. Like she loves knives and weapons and all sorts of cool stuff like
great.
that. And if there is an apocalypse, I'm like,
You're great.
yeah, I know.
Good.
Yeah, I don't need to learn anything. I just need to I just need to make sure she doesn't lose me.
Yeah.
As long as I can, like in an apocalypse, I'm going to follow her like a 3-year-old and it follows their mom in a grocery store or a mall.
Yeah.
Just make sure.
Very close.
Lydia, I'm right here. Lydia. Zombie, Lydia, zombie! You know, I'll just be shouting. But as we're kind of wrapping this out, what's a really great piece of wisdom that you have to impart, or something that you live by, or maybe there's a piece of advice someone gave you at some point that you know, like a guiding principle or something?
A piece of advice. I always say, if you find yourself in a situation you don't know what to do about it, and this is how I play some of my characters, especially Jane, but there's a quote that insecurities are loud and confidence is silent. So if you notice that you're, you know, I don't know, if I'm super uncomfortable, like right now, I will like be really loud or something like that, and that shows that, you know, I'm a bit insecure with something. If I'm confident, it's more relaxed, it's more mellow. So I tend to bring that into my characters, but it can help you decide where you stand on certain things. You know, if you really think about it, do I feel calm? Do I feel at rest? You know, then this is okay. I know what to do. If you feel really uneasy, then okay, that you can sort of combat that behavior. You know, if you're going for an interview, just know that you need to quiet yourself before you go in if you're nervous. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense!
Oh, great!
No, I'm kidding. Well, yeah, because when you're nervous and the blood's flowing, the adrenaline's flowing, it almost like it makes it hard to hear. So you don't know that you're up here and you're on the edge of
also, if somebody is treating you poorly and they're just very aggressive with it, they're just really insecure with who they are.
Yeah.
And if you meet somebody who's like extremely confident in who they are, and it feels safer, it's usually more of a quietness and like just a chill vibe. Like, this is not going like I thought it would.
What?
I don't know what else to say. I was going to like say more stuff, and then
you just crapped out halfway through. I was going to say, Phil clearly was very insecure because Phil was loud and had something to prove.
Bright green shirt.
Is anyone wearing a green shirt? God damn it. Let's get all the green shirts out. Well, I looked down and it was like a green shirt.
In fact.
But, you know, sort of building on that, I worked with a trainer for a long time, and he taught me something I thought was really great to sort of build on that is I found that a lot of times I was like up here on my toes because I'm always ready to, you know, and maybe to run. And it was teaching me to sit back on my heels, because when you sit back on your heels, it's sort of like you said, you're more calm and you're more comfortable and you're more confident. So I think that's great advice. And I think, it's such a bummer that this is the only time we've had to hang out in recent memory.
I know.
Because you're just being all successful in New York and stuff.
Okay, you have your own talk show.
Well, okay.
This is what we do when we hang out.
No,
and then sometimes we'll chest bump.
And then you get on your motorcycle and I get back into the safety of my automobile. But I hope to get to see you again soon in a social situation. And maybe we'll bring these guys along the next time we do. But this is so much fun. Thank you for your strength and your wisdom, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited when good things happen to good people, and I see you working on such cool stuff. I get so excited for you. So thank you so much.
He's one of the good ones.
Hey, come on, get out of here, you guys. Stop it, you. All right. Blindspot is on NBC. You can catch episodes on Hulu as well. And please always check with us at Talking on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Find out who's going to be on the show, how you could be a part of it. We could not do the show without you. I am Chris Hardwick, at Hardwick on all the social media stuff. Please don't text and drive, and especially if you're riding a motorcycle. And I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye. Take care.
Now leaving Nerdist.com. Enjoy your burrito.